I need to just move your ass. Monster. I need to move my chair a little bit just to get stable, closer and comfortable. Doggy in the way. I'm a little bit annoyed with her right now. I just walked her. Nothing. Put her down here. Shits. Fucking dog. Okay folks, that's why I'm a minute or two late. I'm sorry. I apologise. Had to just last minute walk the doggy. Okay, how are we doing? Who's here? Say hello in chat. Set chat to live chat. Ismo was first. Good evening, Ismo. We were just chatting some moments ago. My friend Finlandia, who's coming out in a few days. It'll be good to see you again. Thumbs up, folks. Yeah, if you're of a mind to. Roger, I did see your message earlier, my friend. Well, I think it was yesterday, but I saw it earlier. I don't use my phone much anymore. My phone tends to act as the like the Wi-Fi router or router, if you're American. I know you're not, but some people are. That I don't use the phone much except when the tablet needs charging. So WhatsApp messages kind of go unnoticed a little bit, especially if I'm not in when it plinks. If I'm out here or walking the dog or whatever, sometimes the phone plinks and I Roger's doing good. How am I doing? How am I doing, folks? I'm not sure. I'm still down. I think we can make that assertion without getting into medical diagnoses. I'm down. Whether it counts as depression or not, I don't know. I've never had any kind of diagnosis. I think when you're in a rough situation, sometimes things feel rough. And I don't think that necessarily means a diagnosis and medication and brain-altering drugs. Other than this one. Here's the only mind-altering drug that I partake of. Cheers to everybody. Mr. S in the house. Frank's in the house. Hey, Frank Nadobody. Mr. S, I didn't see you there, mate. It didn't flash up. Oh, Frank was here before. Okay. Everybody's arriving. There's Terry Terrence. Hello, Mike and Tina. Let's, even though I'm annoyed to shit with her right now, let's just, traditions of the channel, folks. Traditions of the channel. Even when I'm annoyed with her, we still have to include her, don't we? Here she is. Hey, Tina. Hey, babe. Hey. Hey, can you take a break for a second? Say hello to the peoples. No, apparently not, folks. You're not as important as food. Food takes precedence over you lot. I mean, yeah, fairly obviously. That's my Tina girl. You gotta have your traditions, folks. If you don't have your traditions, where are you? What have you got if you haven't got traditions? You have to build your own culture. Culture is a set of traditions and values. And we have ours. We've developed them over time. And we have them. And we won't let anybody take them away from us. Now there is a bit of a breeze at the minute. It's been very windy actually this evening. It's part of the reason I didn't do a 5 o'clock TrampCast. That and the fact that I just couldn't be asked. But it was too windy even if I'd wanted to do one. There is still a bit of a breeze. Occasionally there'll be the odd gust, but they're coming from over that way, and the microphone's over this way. So I don't expect there to be any interference on the audio. Somewhere here, I do have my pan scrub. Is this it? It is. My pan scrub with the slot that can go over the phone. As long as we're not too low on power, as long as there isn't a cable plugged in. At the minute I'm charging the tablet. So I do only have the one USB-C cable, I think. Actually, that might not be right. Oh, it might be an A to C. This phone needs a C to C. I think I've only got one C to C cable. Although I did get a new cable off my friend Josie a couple of weeks ago. That might be C to C. USB-C to USB-C. It might be. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really unpacked and looked through everything properly. So good evening to Terry, to Frank, to Mr. Sharafsha. Hello, Karen. Karen. Daft Hermits. Hello. But yeah, I popped over to your Wii channel just to. Well, I think I've seen that there are a couple of videos that I've missed, but I saw a post and just posted a kind of a hello. Yeah. Robert, hello. Storms due the next couple of days. Yeah, tomorrow morning, thunder and lightning. 20 and 30%. Not always something to panic about. But yeah, it just kind of go on all day, and I think late afternoon and evening rises to 70 and 80%. So that's more likely to actually happen. I'll monitor. I got to be careful not to run too low on power tonight if I might not get any tomorrow. The day after tomorrow still has rain and clouds, but has a couple of 3 or 4 hour gaps of sunshine, allegedly. Tomorrow not so much, so I've got to be a little bit. Let me just check the EcoFlow. Sorry, you get a close-up of my head. I'm on 93% on the EcoFlow. Typically, I'll get down to about 75 overnight because of the tennis racket of death killing the mosquitoes and things overnight. Since I've had that, folks, I get about 1 bite per week. I used to get 2 or 3 per night and kind of laugh them off, but it's a lot better not having any. But Tina hates the snap, crackle, pop when things fly into the tennis racket of death. The electric bug swatter. I like it, but it does use quite a bit of power having it on all night. If I wake up in the morning and I'm on about, depending how long I go tonight with the TrampCast Hangout, depending how long I go, we might end up down somewhere around 50 or 60% on the EcoFlow early morning. That means if there's no power input tomorrow at all, I might be struggling by the morning after. So not tomorrow morning, but so not Monday morning, but by Tuesday morning things might be getting a little bit tight if there's no input at all tomorrow. But in fairness, even on rainy days, we usually get an hour somewhere along the line to top things up. So I think we'll manage. Folks. Storms due, yeah. Let's have a quick. I'm gonna go top chat and live chat in case the chat froze. No, doesn't look like it. You want to be on live chat though, folks, because it does. By default, chat will filter out 20-25% of messages, just because it's like that sometimes. What can you do? Okay, I haven't really done the proper intro, have I? I'll say thank you to those of you that have hit the thumbs up. I'll give you 10 or 15 seconds to reconsider if you haven't hit it already, and then I will say cheers to those of you that have. Give you a few seconds to think it through, think it over. Can an EcoFlow charge an EcoFlow? Yes, should be able to. But bear in mind there can be losses as you do it. if you're doing it from the inverter, it adds a 30-watt overhead. If you charge from the cigarette lighter, it's going to be less. So the cigarette lighter on one machine as the input to the other, there's less of an overhead, but it'll be slower to charge. Scotland, you've got the snow coming. Oh, wow. Had a wee blow past 56 miles an hour. Okay, that's not what you want. Snow is beautiful to look at, but it can be a bit deadly, can't it? People of a certain age can fall and break hips, and that can be them done. But also just cold and exposure and trying to keep warm. Yeah, I don't envy you that. I don't envy you that. No. Weather-wise, I'd rather be homeless in Spain in terms of the weather over winter. I know you've got beautiful views there, and you've got dolphins. You're overlooking I assume it's an inlet from the sea rather than a lake, but you've got dolphins and stuff to look at. That's remarkable. That would be lovely. I'm just not sure it's worth the sacrifice in the weather. I would be dead if I was homeless in Scotland, anywhere in the UK basically. I'd be dead. I don't know how to survive. I don't know how to be homeless in that environment. I don't know how to be homeless at all, folks. I mean, that's why this channel exists. So I will just mention PayPal donate link for anybody who I got to get the grift. I got to get the grift in, haven't I? You're looking very comfortable. I'm all right. Yeah, it's not too cold yet. I've got a long sleeve t-shirt out with me in case. It's been here a couple of days outside since, was it Friday night I did one. I brought the t-shirt out and forgot to take it in. I'm all right. I'm all right. I've had a few beers. I cracked open the smallest of the bottles of vodka that you brought me. I think it's 200 ml. I've had about a third of it with, well, so the watermelon liqueur that Josie brought me, I finished that, and then I used the vodka to swill out. I put like a double, I used the cap as a measure. I put a double into the bottle and swilled it out and got the rest of the watermelon liqueur. That was nice. That was I mean, that was absolutely gorgeous, folks. A watermelon and liqueur with a cream base. Wow, just wow. I thought it was going to be overly sweet, overly sickly sweet to begin with, but I mellowed into it. I think that would have been, was that Friday or Saturday that I drank that? I think I started that on Friday and finished it yesterday, and then today rinsed the dregs, rinsed the bottle out with the vodka. Yeah, and then I couldn't keep opening beers, so I had a few vodkas. First one after I'd rinsed the watermelon liqueur out. After I'd had that, I have a tradition of having the first out of the bottle neat. Started with wine way back when I could only afford one single carton of wine once a month. I had a tradition of treating myself to having the wine without cola, just having the red wine, the cardboard you know, the brick, they call them bricks here, the Tetra Pak of wine, 1 litre. I got to the point where I could afford one per month, either in the last weekend of the month or the first weekend of the next month. And as a treat to myself, I'd have about a third of a glass neat. That was my treat. And I've kind of carried that on. So when I open, when someone gets me a bottle of brandy, when I say someone, it's Karen and co. When they get me a brandy or a vodka or the first one's always neat. After that, with cola or orange or some other suitable mixer. But first one off, neat, just as a treat. So that's how I roll. Let me just scroll back. I'm missing a couple of questions. There was Karen saying hello. Do you have owls? Whoa, it jumped. Do you have owls you could light around your tent and maybe the owls could solve your issue? The mice. I haven't seen the owl in forever. I think I heard him a few months ago. When I slept outside, he used to be here all the time. He'd stop on these, I would call it a telegraph pole, but they're actually carrying power cables. He used to land on top of the power pole and look down at me and Tina, and he looked really ferocious at Tina. He looked like he was going to swoop down and try and carry her off. I was really worried at one point. Magnificent, magnificent creature. When he landed and you saw the wingspan, and when he took off, oh wow. So there is an owl, or there was an owl. I think he's still around. I was in my tent one night and I heard some wings really flapping. I think he's come down off the power pole and swept low, maybe chasing a mouse or a rat. I'm at the minute, I haven't had any incursions into the tent in about 6 weeks. I think it's 5 or 6 weeks. Karen gave me a box of chocolates and some mice got in, and I baited my traps and put them out. I've got four mouse traps, and they're really good. I baited those, put them out, and we caught 2 the next night, and that was it. That's it, done. Now I've seen no sight, no sound of mice inside the tent. I think because the tent's intact. I think they got in by climbing on a wire, and I'd left a slit open. The wire goes through a little zipper area, and I think I'd left the zip open. I think they'd crawled in on the wire from the solar panel. That's what I think, because there's been no recurrence. I keep that locked now. There's been nothing. Once a week I will bait the traps. They stay baited for about 2 days before the ants fully clear them out. But there's nothing. If there were mice in there, I think the traps would get them just from being baited once a week with a bit of barbecue sauce or mayonnaise or similar, ranch dressing, whatever. But I haven't had any problem for a while. I expect they will come back this winter as the tent starts to fall apart, or this autumn maybe. As the tent starts to fall apart, they'll maybe find a way in, but they'll be met by my 4 very, very evil traps. My very, very evil mouse traps. They don't mess about, these traps. It's clunk click, you're dead. Yeah. The only problem is baiting them with a sauce tends to bring the ants. If I could find something that fits in this little pot that was dry, that didn't attract the ants, it would be better. But I'm not sure it would attract the mice because it's such a little pot that the bait goes in with this big pedal around it that as soon as it gets touched, crunch. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're okay for now. But there are cats in the field. Tina girl. Get some bats to catch the flies. Yeah. There are bats around, but you can see them just before and kind of just after sunset. kind of in that dusk period. You see the bats fly around. It used to be you'd get a swarm. It's not the right word, is it? Birds. Flock? Is that just sheep? Flock of birds. A couple of years ago, I've got videos of like hundreds of these swallows or house martins or whatever they were, swooping around. They'd come within a metre of my head. I could almost reach out and touch them. Occasionally they'd get it wrong and they were about to collide with me, but they would put the brakes on and kind of stall in midair and then take off to the side. Quite fascinating to watch. Like I said, there's a couple of... I have a playlist called something like Torrevieja Nature. It has a few sunrises and sunsets, some thunderstorms, but also some birds swooping around. Some of the videos are even in slow motion already. Yeah. The birds used to eat a lot of the flies. Last couple of years they haven't really been here so much. Got to head off on the early tide. Glad you're both okay. All the best from us in Scotland. Cheers, Daft Hermits. Andy, I think it is, isn't it? Andy. Mouse kebab. I thought about it when I had an infestation over winter and into spring, and I got 6 the first night. I'd promised myself I was going to cook the first 1 or 2. So that almost happened. That did almost happen. I chickened out in the end, but yeah, it was an idea. Oh, that's nice. Mel never spent a cold night with you. Yeah, she was never cold when she was with you. Catch you later, mate. Let's have a look. 14 in the house is on. Oh no, okay. I say that and it jumps down to 11. 10. Oh, I'm losing you all. Okay, well, cheers to those of you that have just left. Have you ever wanted a Man Friday? What, like a helper or a guide? I watched a 1930s version of Robinson Crusoe, wasn't it? That was a very, very racist film. I'm sure I've read the book. When I was a kid, I had the book. I don't remember noticing racism, but he assumed that the black fella was going to eat him or try and eat him. It was very... Now, in fairness, Friday was chased by his own tribe, I think they were. He did something wrong and they were chasing him to... they wanted to put him in the pot. So he was from a tribe of man-eaters, cannibals. So it probably wasn't unfair to assume that he might be a cannibal himself. So Robinson Crusoe was very much on edge, and indeed shackled him at night so that he could hear if he moved around. He had the shackles on, the manacles and the shackles, but he wasn't tied to anything. But just moving around would make a noise. That was a very, very... like I said, I read the book as a kid, but I don't know whether it was a tamed down version. Toned down. But yeah, maybe the original story was that, wasn't it written in like 1750 something or other? So I guess it's a different era. We'll leave it at that. Did you attend Scruff Stream yesterday? No. I fell asleep halfway through Clive's. Tina girl. I watched the first half of Big Clive, but I nodded off halfway through, and that had finished. And I think I woke up just after 2, and I assumed Scruff would have finished by then as well. So no, I missed it, mate. I missed it. I'll probably watch them both back. The second half of Clive's and Scruff's when I get some time, maybe tomorrow. Were they good? I assume it was good. They usually are. Are you being served? I'm free, Mr. Humphreys. I don't know how you auto-corrected to Jumpers. Mr. Humphreys, I think it was, wasn't it? What was he called in real life? Whoa! The fuck? Oh, one of those little green leaf-shaped beetle things again. Mr. Humphreys was, I can't remember his real name. White hair, very gay, and yet later in life he claimed he wasn't. Don't know. Human meat tastes like bacon. Who doesn't like bacon? I guess they say that we're very kind of closely related to pigs, or very similar to pigs. Might make sense. Bacon. Everything either tastes like bacon or chicken, though, doesn't it? Whenever you eat anything weird, you got to compare it either to bacon or to chicken. Yeah. Well, Mr. S missed Clive's stream. Okay. Enjoyed Scruffs. Mr. Humphreys. What did I hear? Humphreys. Yeah. Sign of nature. Hello. Was that you that asked the question earlier, or are you jumping in on someone else's? I think that's your first post, yeah, of the evening. It was compulsory to be gay on the BBC. I guess there was a lot of it around. Larry Grayson. There were a few that weren't. I think Bruce Forsyth was on the BBC, wasn't he? When he did the Generation game. I don't think there's any hint that Brucey was gay. Didn't he marry a Miss World? I think so. But yeah, there is a high incidence of yeah. I gotta be careful what I say. I get called names as it is. Frankie Howard would often be on the BBC, wouldn't he? I was never sure about Ken Dodd. Titter ye not. That was Frankie, wasn't it? But what was the Diddy men? Diddy Pay and Diddy L. Yeah, Ken Dodd. These were all great. I liked a lot of these guys. The 70s and 80s comedians. Comedians and quiz show hosts. Yeah, I don't know, folks. It was I don't think compulsory, but yeah, it was. There was a very high incidence. Didn't it turn out that the guy that played was he Mr. Peacock, the guy with the moustache that was in charge of the floor in Are You Being Served? He was gay, wasn't he? The actor. Okay, an air crash with family members on board. It crashed into a mountain. I thought it was a rugby team. Rugby or football? Rugby. If you're talking about the one in South America, Argentina stroke Uruguay, somewhere around there, rugby team. And they ate the frozen flesh. They didn't even cook it. They didn't have a way of cooking it. So after people died, they took thin slices and just sucked on the... I think sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Rugby, yeah. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, folks. It's survival, isn't it? I can't blame anybody in that situation. I can't judge anyone in that situation. You do what you got to do. As long as you don't go off afterwards and get a taste for it and start, bumping off the local tramp and putting them in the freezer. I don't think there's any suggestion of anything like that. But it's a kind of stain on your character that will hang over you, and some people will judge you for and think badly of you. Seemed you had to be gay. Yeah, well, I think we had this in the UK. If you look back to it was either the late 80s or the early 90s, there was Philip. Oh, I had huge arguments with my mum about Philip Schofield. So Philip, for anyone not in the UK, Philip Schofield did the bits in between the children's programmes, which used to be on BBC One on the main channel. There wasn't a separate kids channel back then. They had their own slot, something like 3:30, while 5:40, 5:50, just before the 6 o'clock news kind of came on. And this guy did all the linking bits, and he had a little puppet. I think it was Gordon the Gopher. And the guy was clearly, to me, now I've always had a fairly good gaydar. To me, he was a screaming woofter. But then everyone's like, no, he's got like 5 kids. He's got 5. No, you're wrong. And I'm like, I don't care that he's got a wife and kids. He's a screaming woofter. And it's only a couple of years ago it came out. Might be more than a couple now. Time dilation while you're in Tramp time. Time doesn't move the same. But suddenly, like 30 or 40 years later, it emerges that yes, very, very gay. And there was 3 of these presenters, one after the other. What was the black fella called? He was very, very gay. I think there was one guy in the middle who might not be. I can't remember their names. Can I? No. One of them, the blonde lad, the blonde guy who I think wasn't gay. I think he was called Andy something or other. Or was the black gay guy, was he Andy Peters? Oh, I got half a recollection of half of something and it doesn't quite get there. But they were very, very gay, yeah. I was always suspicious of how people especially in kids entertainment, I don't know. I know that the arts and what have you, people who sing and dance and what have you, have a higher propensity to be, your creative types tend to be more that way. But the proximity to children. I know we're not supposed to make that leap. You can be gay and not be a total pervert. Except there does seem to be quite a thing now. It seems to be kind of creeping that way. A little bit. these pride marches with kids running around and people fucking doing the helicopter and the, you know, the and the kinky gear and the BDSM, is that the right set of initials? Yeah, I don't know, folks. I'm gonna shut up before I talk myself into a corner and get myself in trouble. Easily done. Whoa. Let me just scroll back. Crash, rugby. Whoa, where was the several? What was the several? Which way did it jump? It jumped backwards, okay. Yeah, I think Clive has this discussion at times about the flouncy gaze, the over the top camp. Yeah, because obviously Clive leans that way, but he's a manly man, a so-called bear. Not a fan of how the media portrays all gays as being whoopsies. I don't know that he would use that term, but whoopsies or jessies. Again, I'm going to shut up before I get myself in trouble. Tina sounds bubbly tonight. Let me, now that she's calmed down and stopped eating, let's see whether I can introduce her to you properly. She was eating before and she wouldn't look up. You get the, hey baby, can I get a little cuddle? Come on, let's have a chin tickle. Come on. You need to move your legs, don't you, to get around here. Come on. You're not going to. Say hello to the peoples then, Tina. Say hello. Oh, whoa. There went the legs, look. I think I was saying the other night that I think the front legs are starting to go, folks. She's struggling to maneuver around on two legs. Hey, babe. Come on, let's do the chin tickle. Here we go. Come on. Hey. No, you don't like the light, do you? She doesn't like the bright light, but that's my girl. Hey, babe. Hey. Okay. You hide from the light. I'll come back to me. Leave you alone. She's not a fan of the light. Maybe she's got rabies or something. Photosensitive. She hates water. I mean, she'll drink it, but she won't let you put water on her body. If I hold a bowl of water in front of her, she runs in the opposite direction. She remembers a few summers ago where, to keep her cool, I was pouring water over her. She hates it. She will drink it when she has to, though, as you can possibly hear in the background right now. How's life, Mike? I've seen It'll Roger. It'll has to be an autocorrect somewhere. How's life? Life's okay on the whole. I've been a little bit down, a little bit depressed. Well, I don't like to use that word. I've been down. My legs are healing. I had a lot of, what did I have? I had about 8 fairly serious open wounds on each leg, and I'm down to 2 on one leg and 3 on the other, and even those are not very big now and are very much drying up. I will spray them with a medication each day, but every second day I will try and peel off whatever can be peeled off, and I can see that the underlying wound's getting smaller and smaller, weeping less. There's less. Some of them have got pus coming out, but it's reducing all the time. So they're well on their way to recovery. This week I'm going to get out and about with Tina a little bit. I'm going to put her in a chariot for the first time in a month, and we're going to get out and about. This week, I think October the 1st, I'm going to try and do a sunrise video, just a kind of a Happy New Month kind of thing, with a sunrise. Maybe I'll try and get a sunset if there's one to be done. But we're going to try and get out, despite the fact I've still got a few open wounds on my legs. The trousers that I've been wearing to keep the flies off, the trousers are all stained from the weeping kind of sores. It's not a great topic to discuss, is it? I'm going to see whether I can dig out another pair of long pants and maybe wash these in a bowl of water. Also, I've been wearing the same socks through the whole process. I'm going to have to rinse those out, see if I can find something else I can wear for a day or two, wash my socks and get them dry on a day when it's not raining, so not the next 2 days. But I'm getting better, and once I'm better-ish, I'll be able to take her out and get her more used to her chariot, her doggy wheelchair. We had that one big trip to Tweeties for fish and chips, and haven't really used it much since. So I want to get her back. I want to get her back active and out in that. But yeah, rain in Alicante area. Is it in Torrevieja? Tomorrow morning we're expecting rain, thunder and lightning, and rain at some point in the day. Seems to be 20% likely each hour in the morning, but later afternoon I think is showing more of a likelihood. You got any gear for this year's cold season? I've got more clothes than I know what to do with, my friend. I've got more bedding than I know what to do with, including an electric blanket. I have more clothes. People sometimes just drop them off without even asking, and they end up piling up. I've got 2 or 3 bags of clothes just lying in the field that have been there for 4 or 5 months since I switched tents. I brought everything out, I took in what I needed, I left stuff outside to kind of sort through, and I just haven't needed it. I will have a final look through before it starts raining, so tomorrow morning I'll maybe drag 1 or 2 bags inside to kind of sort through. I don't expect to keep much of it, but yeah, I have more clothes than I know what to do with. I have backup tents in case this tent goes bad. I've already acquired the next big tent, ready for when I need to transition if it starts falling apart in winds or in rain or whatever. I'm covered. I'm okay. I've got 2 emergency sleeping bags, 2 survival sleeping bags, and a roll mat. But I've got a bed on a bed frame, no legs, but the bed frame to get me off the ground by 2 or 3 inches. If you remember last winter and into spring, my mattress was on the floor, and when the tent broke and started leaking water in, my mattresses were just laying in the water. Now I've got 2 mattresses, 2 double mattresses, one on top of the other, so the bottom one could get wet anyway. Not too much of a worry. But when it was on the floor, the bottom one would soak up all the water, and then it would permeate upwards into the top mattress. And I did end up, because where I lay indents the mattress, I did end up kind of laying in a puddle of water at one point. Only for a few days. A few days, yeah, only a few days. What was I did a whole playlist. What did I call the playlist? Something like the week of hell. And it ended up being like 2.5 weeks. But I'd called it the week of hell after 3 days when I saw the weather forecast for the next few days. I didn't know it was going to go on for 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, I was laying in water. Only because it's soaked up. It's not like there was like a foot of water inside the bed or inside the tent or anything. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, it'll rain. Yeah, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain probably tomorrow. But how did I get hurt? I went. So when Tina got her doggy wheelchair, and then a friend customized it to make it perfect for her, we went for like a 1.5 kilometer walk each way, something like that, about 1.5 kilometers each way, I think. And I did it in new shoes that I'd never worn before, and I thought they were a little bit tight, but I just thought, oh, they're new. This walk will break them in. It turns out they're about 2 sizes smaller than they say they are. And I got a lot of blisters. And I even got blisters within blisters. And I think on one toe, I think I got a 3rd level blister. So you get a blister, keep walking, it takes the top off and it bursts and oozes everywhere. And then you keep walking and it rubs more and you get a blister, takes the top off and get a 3rd level. I had like a volcano going down into my toe. And then sitting out here chatting with a friend in the morning, having coffee in the morning, in short pants and a pair of sandals. Flies. There was like a swarm of this field's been terrible for flies this summer. But when I had these open wounds, these open blisters, there was like 20 flies on each fucking open blister, each open wound. And my legs had lots of scratches and scrapes and little cuts because I live in a field. I'm constantly bumping into branches and prickly. Hey. It's okay. Tina. It's okay. It's okay, babe. So I had all these scratches and grazes and small cuts, and because the blisters had attracted the flies, they also got in everything else. And basically every little scratch or scrape I had on my legs got infected because of the fucking flies. And like I said, it's been a month now. Probably literally. Friday would have been 4 weeks and now another couple of days. So it's been a month. The first week, no real problem. I was just waiting for the blisters to heal, I thought. Second week's when it kind of got infected and you could tell it was infected. And it got really bad. Some of them were like that. The open wounds just got bigger and bigger. And I was just like laughing it off, like, oh, the human body will take care of that. The immune system and the repair system, it'll be fine. It wasn't. My friend Karen got me some kind of antiseptic powder or antibiotic powder. I'm not fully sure what the active ingredient is, but it's like a talc and then some with active ingredients. When that started to get low, my friend Joby, who was in the field, was out walking one day, and he came across half a bottle of alcohol gel, like hand sanitizer. So I was putting that on the open wounds, and that speeded up recovery massively, drying the wounds out. And then who did what next? Karen again, wasn't it? Karen and her fella went out and got me like an alcohol spray, but with an additional active ingredient, and I put that on, and some of the remnants of the powder that they'd given me previously, and things started to dry up really quickly. Then still have to press down on them every now and again and squeeze a bit of nastiness out, blood and pus. every second or third day I'll take the top off where I can and take the scab off and see how much it's repairing underneath. But we're getting there. From 7 or 8 open wounds on each leg, I'm down to 2 or 3 noticeable ones, and even those are much reduced from what they were. So it's getting better. It's getting there. Hold on. Seen photos of George Clooney with Obama, and what George was holding wasn't steering the ship. There's a lot of rumours about Obama, isn't there? And his wife, Big Mike, Michelle, and whether she's a man or not. And there's that letter where Obama confessed to being gay. I always thought that George Clooney was too well coiffured or too well, you know, when you watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, Clooney looks like one of the gay guys. And then he married that lawyer that looks like a horse. I'm gonna shut up before I get myself in trouble again. Mr. S was on his way. Okay, maybe back later, no promises. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to go either, mate. I don't know. Thanks for the stream, everyone. Okay. Bye, Mr. S, says Karen, although it looks like she's put by Mrs. But yeah. Had our first rainfall here. That kind of soaked in an extreme drought here. Yeah, well, we're kind of, depending on how you look at it, we're 4 or 5 years into a drought. I mean, we do get some rain in winter, and if you've again, folks, my playlist, this one would be called "The Rain in Spain Falls Mainly on Me." I think that's the name of the playlist. If you look in the description of any of my videos, you'll find a list of playlists at the bottom. There's a few good ones. There are a few good ones, but the rain in Spain ones are the bad weather that have hit me at various times. Bad weather was the beginning of this channel, if you look back. The weather forecast said 10 days of thunder and lightning, solid. Thunder, lightning, and obviously rain. And yeah, that was my first video. And I wasn't even in a tent at the time. 6 broom handles, 2 chairs, a bit of rope, and an old tarp that was literally falling apart by the time I had the resources to start this channel, actually record a video. Yeah, it's quite spectacular. If you've never watched my first ever video, it's highly recommended. When you see what I was living in. When we're finished here, if you click on the name of the channel, Delta Mike Down and Out in Torrevieja, you click that or the word more next to it. No, click the name itself. That'll take you to my channel. Then you want to click videos, and then in the sort box, you don't want to be on latest or most popular. You want to select oldest. And the very first one in the list when you select oldest is my first video ever. Go and have a look at what I was living in. I have got a video that's gonna come out soon. I might save. This was meant to come out on my 3rd anniversary of being homeless, but I might release it on October the 10th. On the 3rd anniversary of me moving into this field. So that's what? A little bit less than 2 weeks away, isn't it? Because what I'm doing, I've taken that first ever video and I've added some extra commentary around it. And I've turned a 25-minute video into about an hour and a quarter. Just me prattling on. reminiscing, adding a bit of extra context around the original video, which was partly it was a hello world, it was a let's look at the oncoming storm, but it was also a cookery video, chicken stew without any chicken, a chicken flavoured stew. It wasn't great. I'm cooking and the camera's pointing over there and I'm stirring and I couldn't do two things at once. I couldn't stir the stew and keep the camera pointed at the pan. The camera is But I did sit there and talk to camera and show the shack that I was living under, and you could see the wind beginning to come in as we were about to start this 10 days of thunder and lightning. Yeah, I watch it every now and again. Oh, I watch it every now and again just for reminiscences. Like every now and again I'll watch back to the first TrampCast, TrampCast 001. Every now and again, just to get an idea of how my first live stream was. It wasn't too bad. I'd been doing videos for probably 5 or 6 months by this point. So the first live stream wasn't too bad. That one, folks, that one's got the full story of the who, how, what, when, where, why, who I am, what I did, my educational background, my work background, my business background, how and why I came to Spain, and how and why after 6 years in Spain I ended up homeless. It's all there. TrampCast space 001. The digits, the numerals. Yeah, there you go. Tramp in a camp with a waterbed. Steptoeing some, yeah. The weather hasn't fully broken here yet. I was just looking at Frank there where he says that they got their first rainfall. The weather hasn't really, we had like a quarter of an hour of very light rain one day last week, I think it was. But, you know, like about 10 days ago, something like that. And, no, but I'm still waiting for the first night where the temperature falls below 20. We're still in the tropical nights phase. I don't think we've had a single night where it's fallen below 20 at any point. See, I can sit here and feel cool and it'll still be 24, 25 degrees. I've become a soft tart because I'm living in a tent that hits 45 and 50 degrees. Tramp in a camp step to it. So you could be the next comedy program like Faulty Towers. Write down all your funny moments and I'll watch you on telly. I don't know about a comedy, but I think there's a book in this at some point. And it will not reflect well on Santander Bank. It will not reflect well on the Spanish police or the mayor of Torrevieja. Yeah. I could do like an autobiography, but only covering maybe one chapter to summarize life before being a tramp, and then chapters walking through the story after becoming a tramp. But I would probably do something like, I think it was Eric Clapton's autobiography. Every second chapter is a theme rather than a period in his life. So chapter 1, 3, 5, 7 are chronological, but the parts in between are themes talking about, topics, things that happened at different parts in his life. I liked that. I liked that idea. That broke up the story quite well and jumped around a little bit and added a bit of context to some events. I think that was the Eric Clapton one. I do like a good autobiography. I've said this before. Rod Stewart's is possibly the best autobiography I've ever read. Benjamin Franklin would have been, but his is in 2 parts and the second half is very different to the first. Ben Franklin, the younger man, was a fantastic autobiography. The second half after the Revolutionary War, I was a lot more dour. Yeah, so that would have been my best if he'd stopped at the first half. But I think the Rod Stewart one is phenomenal. Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry is a prodigious writer. His autobiography is up to about 7 or 8 books. That's a little bit overkill, I think. Should have pruned that down a little bit. So no, I don't know about a comedy program. I don't know that I've had that much happen that is comedic. I don't know that much that's happened is comedic. Not while I've been here in this field. I mean, we've had floods. We've had everything wiped out. We had 5 months without a single electronic device. I guess I built a bed that fell over. That was kind of comedic. When I woke up in the morning, the bed's like that and my head's down at this end on the floor. I guess that was a funny moment. I don't think there's been too much that's been funny though. I wish I could spin it into being funny. But being arrested and given a criminal record over something and nothing. All of the arrests with the police. It's not funny. Not funny. I guess the mayor bullying an older lady online to find my location so that he could send his head of welfare around, and all the cunt does is go papers please and get the police, clicks his fingers, get the police and has me arrested. 12 cops running through the field to come and get me. I guess there's a certain comedic thing there, but then they kicked my dog and harmed her. So it loses its comedic touch. Yeah, I don't know. Don't see the comedy in it. I wish I could. How cold does it get at night in the winter, says RJ. Hello, RJ. There's usually 1 week in February, mid to late February, there'll be 1 week where 3 or 4 of the nights get down to 4 degrees Celsius, +4. It's not cold at all, really. The Spanish panic about that. The Spanish think that's really cold. They think that's deadly cold. They open emergency centres somewhere in the middle of town for homeless people to go and stay in and get a hot meal. Never needed it. Never needed it. Boil some water, put it in a 2-litre pop bottle. Typically 2 2-litre pop bottles. Put the pop bottles inside a cushion cover and zip it up and put that in the bed. And I will be sweating my balls off all night long, far too hot, all night long until 7 or 8 in the morning, I'll literally be too hot. Now, my friend Karen has bought me a proper real hot water bottle, which I located today in readiness for winter. I didn't really. I had a general idea of where it was in the tent, but I actually located it today. I don't know where my cushion cover is though that I use. Now, if I don't find that, I do have a few big towels because my friend Karen gave me a bale of towels some time ago. Big bath towels, some of them. So I can always just wrap the homemade hot water bottles, the 2-litre pop bottles. I can just wrap those in a towel if I can't find the cushion cover. But my friends Adam and Mel last year, towards the end of winter, brought me an electric blanket, and I've got a solar panel and an EcoFloat. And what I found was that putting the electric blanket on for a quarter of an hour, once early in the evening, early at night, once in the middle of the night, and maybe once in the morning, that's fine. And I only used about a third, I think, of the power of the EcoFlow. And most days are still sunny, even in winter. You still get hot days. It's still hot here in winter. Through the day, you'll still be hitting 25, 27, 28 degrees, but just for a shorter period, say 12 while 4. And as long as it's sunny, I've got the solar panel to generate electricity. So I'll be all right. Colder in an apartment in January, February. This is true. The apartments are built to keep the heat out and to radiate it back out straight away. Yeah. I mean, they've often got big holes under the door and stuff, drafts and air vents and things. They're built to give the heat out in summer, and in winter, they're still giving the heat out. All of that exposed cold tiles, yeah, cold walls. Hello, Keith Mack. Hello. Yeah, I found that. I spent my last winter in my apartment before I got evicted. Well, they turned up with paperwork on January the 4th, I think it was. So as soon as the festivities were out of the way, that I had paperwork telling me to get out. But that was the worst. That was my worst winter ever, in lots of ways. If I'd have known how much food I could have got by going around bins, not like that. People hang the communal bins, and people will hang a carrier bag off the side, a shopping bag off the side, with food in. If a bin's particularly full, sometimes they will put it inside the bin, but in a fastened shopping bag. I struggled to get through my last winter in the apartment because my money was running out, and well, it had run out, and I was just desperately trying to hang on. My next winter, homeless, I had a far better time with it. I had a better time homeless in a field than I had in an apartment with my money running out. There was just so much food to be had. Sounds perverse, bin food, but yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Sometimes I would put my hand in the bin and try and feel what's in a bag. And sometimes you put your hand in and a bag is like ice cold. Lift the whole bag out and it's full of frozen salmon and ice cream and cornettos. Honestly, bin bag full of food that someone's just, I don't know, I don't know how or why, but people will just throw away like a freezer full of food. I don't know if they've worried it's past its date. I don't know if they're leaving the country and it's everything that's in the freezer. I don't know what it is, but I had numerous finds in bins of whole bags of frozen things, steaks, salmon steaks. Then the authorities went and changed the shape of the bins and went for more difficult bins to access. So then you're more reliant on people hanging stuff on the outside rather than digging around in the bins. But yeah. Ever had snow? It has snowed once in Torrevieja in 100 years. And I was here. I was living on Avenida de la Mancha the first winter I was here. Just after I got Tina, I think it would have been. Because I was only there, was I only there the one Christmas? Oh, that's a question. I think so. I think I was only in that apartment the one Christmas. So that would have been, that might have been December or January 2016 or January 2017. Snowed once in 100 years and I wasn't homeless, no. Didn't stick either. I mean, it snowed, it settled for an hour, people got to take some nice photographs and then it was gone. Been fortunate with the weather, really. Apart from when this field flooded twice. Right at the beginning. And I had the worst 5 months of my life. Yeah, that'd be a chapter in the book. That would be a chapter in the book. Those 5 months with nothing. As soon as it went dark in winter, which gets down to about 6:30, it goes dark, maybe 6 o'clock, and doesn't get light until nearly 8. And as soon as it's dark, that's my day over. Couldn't read a book, didn't have a radio, didn't have a phone, didn't know what time it was. For months I never knew the proper time. No light to read a book, no watch to tell the time, no phone with the time, no entertainment whatsoever. Through the day, it's okay, it was just a police car, Through the day I could pull a newspaper out of the bins and have a read, do the puzzle page, if it's an English language paper. If it was a Spanish one, I could try and piece together what it was saying. Yeah, no, not the best. That was not the best period of my life. That kind of October, well, March or maybe April. No, just not the best time. That was the worst, literally the worst time of my life. I'm not going to say that, I'll get myself in trouble on YouTube. But yeah, things almost came to an end. How did you get Tina? Oh. So, if you go about 500 meters that away, up the hill to the area is called Aguas Nuevas, New Waters. There's a bar, Kino's Bar. He actually kind of named it after one of his dogs, and there was never a sign with the name of the place, so we never got to know it. I added it to Google Maps and called it Famous Kiosk in the Park, which I think still comes up, but he has technically renamed it after the name of his dog. I was sat there anyway one day chatting with some friends, and this lady came by with a dog, and she was fostering the dog. Got it from miles and miles away, like 60 or 80 kilometers that away, down south. She'd seen it on Facebook and was interested. She had a dog. She was looking for another dog to try and calm her dog down. She'd arranged and they'd met halfway, and she'd got the dog. And after about a fortnight, it wasn't working out with her own dog, with the dog they already had. We're in early December. She prints some leaflets, 200 leaflets, I think it was. A3 size, no, sorry, A5, half of A4, A5. Tina with a Father Christmas hat on. And she leaves her house for the first time with these leaflets to hand them out and see if she can find a forever home for the dog, because the fostering hasn't worked. Literally, the first people she gets talking to in the park is me and my friends at a couple of tables we were sat at. And she's talking with us. She sits down, the lady sits down at the next table with the dog, Tina, as she now is, under the table. And every time I looked, Tina was looking at me. If I looked and she wasn't looking at me, she turned to look at me, like right there and then. There was just a connection. Everybody saw it. Everybody in the park were like, if you don't take that dog, I'm never talking to you again. Now they were joking, but so I got talking to the lady, and didn't want to make any stupid decisions because I'd had a few. Not many, but you know, 3 or 4. So we decided not to make any silly decisions right there and then. We'd meet up tomorrow, meet up the next day. Of course, I toddle off home and go past my house and down Avenida de la Mancha to one of the Chino bazaars, and I buy this this cushion that's like 2 meters by a meter. It's this fucking huge, cushion. You could have fit 4 Tinas on this cushion. But I buy that, I buy a lead, I buy a collar, I buy toys and dog bowls and dog food. I spend about 80 euros on all the shit. And this is before we've formally, this is like quarter of an hour after we agree we're not going to make any stupid decisions that day. We'll leave it well tomorrow. But I'd already bought all the shit. Balls and things for her to chase and play with, and the tug of war thing, the rope with the ball on one end and you pull the dog around. I'd already bought all the things. Like I said, I walked in the Chino Bazaar and I spent about 80 euros. Just one of them. So the next day I go back to the park and I'm talking to this lady, and to me it's like it's a done deal. So I got really surprised when an hour in she says, "So, what have you decided?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm here, aren't I? Well, I thought it was obvious." I thought it was obvious, so I'd not said. She was wondering, am I taking her or am I not? So the lady comes with me while I take Tina for her first walk, and I think she comes back to my apartment, house. It wasn't an apartment, it was a house. She comes back just to check that, that I'm not a tramp living in squalor. I had a kind of a 2 up, 2 down house. Big downstairs area. I was on the corner plot within an urbanization, so I had a garden to the side and to the front. Huge area for her to run around in and for us to play in. she came back. She was satisfied that I had the space and the, you know, the financial wherewithal to look after this lovely little lady, and that was it. She was mine. That's how that happened. That's how I got Tina. She was called Albertina at the time. This lady had not named her. So let's just backstep a little bit. Tina had been mistreated and either abandoned or run away from her original owners. I'm not sure which. Down in a place called Albox, down in Murcia, in the next Spanish area, the next Spanish community along. And while she was kind of homeless, while she was abandoned and running around the street, she was kind of starving to death by all accounts. And she saw some people that she kind of liked the look of. She followed them home and she knocked on the door to get their attention. And they came out, saw the state of her, how thin she was, that she needed help. And they fed her and fostered her for, they looked after her for a couple of weeks. They contacted the pound and said, look, we can look after her for a week or two, but it can't be permanent. We're not going to have her. But yeah, so she was scheduled to go to this dog pound, alberg. She never made it there. She was fostered out to this lady here before she even made it to the pound. And yeah, and then we pick up where we started with the lady, with it not working with her dog, and looking to foster her, to find her forever home. And this was like 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas. So yeah, a doggy is for life, not just for Christmas. Rob's come to rub it in with the Yanks about Europe winning the Ryder Cup. Okay. Robert says, my flat is freezing today, got a gas bill. Thought they were making me an offer for the flat. Yeah, telephone number kind of... What age was she when you got her? They estimate between 8 and 10 months when I got her in December. So somewhere between kind of February, March and April she would have been born. I decided to make her birthday be April the 1st, so she's my little April Fool. That's just my stupid sense of humour. But there you go. She's my little April Fool. Nobody knows exactly, but she was called Albertina on the paperwork. I think that must be the family that first took her in for that 2 weeks. I didn't really like the Albertina thing, so I shortened it to Tina. And that's where we've been ever since. Now I do have multiple friends called Tina, and some of them are always asking me, did you name her after me? Did you name her after me? No, she was Albertina. I didn't like the Albert thing at the beginning. That's a bit too masculine. So I shortened it just to Tina. So any of my Tina friends out there, any of my friends who are called Tina, no, not named after you. It's just a coincidence that I guess I wouldn't have known where to start trying to come up with a new name from scratch. I just shortened what we already had. And the little bugger ran away from me about 3 times in the first 3 months. Not including the times that she ran away from me but in front of me and kept looking back. And as I'm trying to walk home and she's trying to maintain like a 50 meter or 100 meter distance in front of me. but I'm trying to steer her by walking where we're going to go. She didn't know the way. We were along this road actually, about 500 meters down the road, walking back from the cliffs, just the other side of the cove there. But she'd run off, but she was keeping an eye on me, and she was kind of laughing at me. She did this thing whenever she ran away. She'd walk off and she'd look back and kind of laugh, and then run off a little bit, and then I'd catch up and she'd look back. It was very cute, but very fucking annoying, especially when we're on the main road and when she crossed the main road without me. And all the way home, we're zigzagging through these streets, and she got lost. She lost me. So I went up to the kiosk in the park, which is where I thought she would head for, because that's where she'd gone another time when she ran off. She ran off overnight once, and when the guy opened the kiosk the next morning, she just trotted along, wanting a hot dog sausage. Oh, fuck. So I thought she was going to head there after she got lost, after she got separated from me, but she didn't. But then I started hearing this barking in the distance, and she had quite a distinctive bark, very different to now. Very different to now. She had this very distinct, so I headed off in that way, and I shouted her, and she came running at me, like towards me, which was good. Yeah. I guess that would be another chapter in the autobiography. Acquiring Tina and maybe the first 2 or 3 months when she ran away multiple times. She ended up at the dog pound one time. We were in a different part. We were over. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. We were the other side of the N332. And another dog we were with snapped at her, and she ran off. And she was like grease lightning. I mean, she was like a greyhound running away. I thought she was part greyhound. The speed she ran. But that was it. She was gone. And I was frantic. The friends that we were with went up. I had to walk around trying to find her, trying to shout her, asking people if they've seen a dog with a black dog with a white chest. In my best pidgin Spanish, and perro negro con pechuga blanca was about as close as I could get. Black dog with white chest, a white breast. Friends went home, got their car, and when we drove around this bit of countryside that we'd been in, we circled it to see if we could get her. Nothing. So I had to go home in the end and contact the albergue, and the next day I got a message saying, "We think we've got your dog." And I had to walk there, and when I got there, damn thing, she stood on her back legs, reaching right up the wire mesh of the doorway of the pen that she was in, and she's barking at me. She recognized, and that's when I knew we were going to be all right. She was so pleased to see me after spending a day in what was a really horrible place at the time. It's been overhauled now. I think it might even have moved site slightly. But it's had a massive makeover. It's much better now. It was a very desolate place back then. Terrible, terrible looking place. But she saw me, recognized me. I didn't realize how big she was. When she stood on her back legs and put the front paws up, she was about 3/4 of my size. I couldn't believe it. You know, when they're just like knee high, you're walking along and your dog's next to you and she's just knee high. But then when she stood up and reared up, but I knew we were going to be all right then. She was pleased to see me. Even though she'd run away, she'd not run away from me, she'd run away from the other dog that had snapped at her. it was just a timing thing. I was trying to put some food and some water out for her, so I didn't have hold of the lead properly. I think I tucked it under my arm, and then this other dog had to go, and Tina just pulled, and I didn't have my wrist through the loop. I didn't have hold of the lead. So yeah, those early days with Tina. So she's, what is she now? 9.5, maybe. Yeah, it was December 2016. So that's when I got her, and she was already, so somewhere between February, March, April, somewhere around there, she would have been born. So yeah, that makes her 9.5, I think. Yeah. I don't think she's got much longer left though, folks. She's a year ago she was deteriorating rapidly. Then it's kind of stabilized. It's starting to go again. She's starting to deteriorate again. Yeah. I'm not, I had this discussion on Friday. I'm not gonna a guy on YouTube had a lobster called Leon. He got in the supermarket and saved it. Okay. That's maybe a little bit over soft. I'm not sure lobsters can show affection. I don't know. Oh, air bubble. Excuse me. Lobster. I would have probably thrown that in the pot. Probably. Am I still on my first can of beer? I'm about there. We're an hour and a half in, and I'm still on the first half of the first can. Wow. Okay, folks. Yeah, I think in December it'll be 9 years. I think that's how the numbers work out that I've had her. Yeah. Hold on. Are you getting a cold? I'm not getting a cold. I am getting cool though. I'm getting. What makes you think I'm getting a cold? Do you think do I sound bunged up? No, I am getting cool. I might consider putting the t-shirt on, the long sleeve t-shirt over the top. It's a little bit damp actually. Probably make me colder than I am. Oh God. Taking the glasses off is never good. Takes about 5 minutes for the eyes to adjust. Let's do this though. Let's do this thing. I'll probably be too warm in 5 minutes. Now, I had a thought this morning. I know that sounds like a rarity. I've been wearing these long pants, these long trousers for the last 2 weeks, I think it is, because of the open wounds and the flies and things. Prior to that, I went the whole of last winter. I didn't wear long pants at all. I wore shorts all winter, all the way through. So this is the first time I've wore, 2 weeks ago when I first put them on. It's the first time in 2 years that I've wore long pants, I think. That's a thing. I literally wore shorts the whole way through winter. And I'm only wearing them now to keep the flies off, not because my legs were cold or anything. He's made a fortune from that lobster. Oh, I'm coughing. I think I had a sore throat last week some point, and I lost my voice one morning. I woke up and couldn't talk. And then half a day later, it was back to normal. I had a bit of a tickle in the back of the throat for a day or so. Well, I think the next night, I think I got a tickle in the throat again, and that was fine. And then you came round the other day, Karen, and I swallowed that fly. fucking thing, look, it just flew. It hit the back of my throat and felt like it got stuck. It felt like it didn't go down. It hit the back of my throat, and for 24 hours there was this, it felt like a lump in my throat. It felt like something was just stuck there. But yeah, no, if I talk a lot, because I don't talk much. Oh God, you're not going to believe that, are you? Not when I've done 5 and 6 hour TrampCasts, but I don't generally talk a lot, folks. I am the quiet, shy guy. I will maybe have 3 conversations a week in real life, in the real world. Now, Joby was living here. Joby was back in the field, so we were sitting and chatting first thing in the morning, sometimes in the early afternoon, and then again late at night. So I guess I've talked more recently. He's moved on now. Joby's left the field. He's moved on to wherever he's going next. And hello, Sahara Moonshine. I still love that name. Then he ate a spider to catch the fly. Yeah, and off we go. Yeah. I don't remember all the rest of the steps, but yeah, it was a little old lady, wasn't it? Swallowed a spider to catch the fly. What was next? Is it a bird to catch the spider? And a cat to catch the bird? Dog to catch the... I don't know. It wasn't my favourite kind of... Is that a nursery rhyme? Or just a silly song? I don't know what that is. For the late arrivals, let's see if we can't get Tina to appear on camera, as if by magic. Where are you, babe? Can I get you on camera from over here? I can't get you from here, can I? How's about... Can I do that? I can't see the screen, folks, so I've got no idea if she's on camera or not. Somewhere there. No, just a sec. Go away!
I apologise if I caused offence.
You did.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, fuck off. Am I still here? Oh, I think I'm... There we go. The fucking... Hold on. The AI thing fucking kicked in. I don't know if you heard that. The Google AI, is it called Gemini? Kicked in with, what can I do for you? And I'm like, you get out the fucking way. What the fuck? So that was, I don't know if you saw her or not, but yeah. I'll have to watch this back now. I'll make a note, a mental note, 138 and whatever. I thought it was going to kick me out of the live stream. You know, sometimes I misclick and it takes me to a different app. The live stream kind of ends and I have to jump back in. I've uninstalled and disabled that thing about 3 times already. I don't know what else I can do to get rid of it. It's a bugger. Anyway, to everybody who's hit the thumbs up, thank you. If there's anybody out there that hasn't hit the thumbs up yet, you might like to consider it. I never did do the proper intro for this thing, did I? For any of the lurkers out there who don't know what they're watching, I am Delta Mike. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Down and out. Homeless, a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some might say a bum, or someone who lives on the street, or in my case, in a field. Fortunately nowadays, in a tent in a field rather than just in a field. But there was a time, folks, there was a time it was just in a field. So Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Torrevieja, a city on the southeast coast of Spain, on the Costa Blanca south, in the Alicante region of Spain. Just under an hour south of Alicante. 45, 50 minutes south. I've done that American thing, I'm measuring distances in time. They are related phenomena. Speed, distance and time. There's a mathematical triangle thing goes on there, but let's not get lost in that. Cheers, folks. The counter of people watching just took a major tumble. It was on 10 about a minute ago, it's down to 5 now. I know on Friday night when I did one of these, it dropped to 0. But I think that was just a glitch. It quickly climbed back up to where it had been. But maybe I'm boring you, maybe you're leaving me because I'm, I don't know. Maybe it's YouTube stroke Google's revenge for me telling the AI to fuck off because it got in the way. Okay, folks, let me ask you guys a question. What kind of week have we had? How's the weather been for the last week where you are? And if you wouldn't mind giving me a reminder of where you are. Country, city, approximate, you know, you don't have to, I don't want your address. I'm not stalking you, but what do we got? Wind, rain, snow, where are we? What's the temperatures like? I know Karen's here, so her temperatures and my temperatures are the same thing. There was Sahara. I'm just scrolling back through in case I missed anything. There was Sahara moonshine arriving. Okay, the breeze is picking up. I'm intrigued about this fellow with the lobster, Leon the lobster. He got it in a supermarket and kept it, saved it. How long do lobsters live? You see, now there's a question I could have asked the AI if it had not pissed me off. Let's... How long a cable are we on? How long do lobsters live? Let's find out. Just bear with me, folks. How long do lobsters live? Lobsters can live for a very long time. Holy shit! What? Some species like the American lobster potentially living over 100 years. Holy, when it said lived a long time, I thought, yeah, what, 20 years? You know, no, fucking 100 years. Holy shit. A 25-pound lobster could be over 100 years old. Size and age seem to be correlated. That's a good word. Statisticians and mathematicians like words like that one. Who knew, folks? Who knew? Lobsters live 100 years plus. Holy... Probably not if they're anywhere near the coast. Let me... Keithmack, Ireland. Hold on a minute. It's jumping. Ireland, not bad, mild. Yeah, my mate Anthony went back to Ireland. That was this week, wasn't it? Thursday. He arrived on Sunday, brought me and Joby, because Joby was in the field as well. He brought us breakfast sandwiches one day and a plate of breakfast each the other day. Took a break for a day, and then they brought me a huge plate of basically everything he had left. Bacon, sausages, egg. I think there was like 5 eggs, 5 fried eggs on the plate. Load of bacon. I have eaten like a pig this week, folks. Between Anthony, Karen and family, and Josie bringing me food. Oh, and my friend Adela brought me a big jar of stew that she'd made. Oh God. I have never felt so full. Wow. I've stuffed myself this week. Really have. I had to. Otherwise it would go to waste. But that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So Keithmack, Ireland. Sahara Moonshine. Hold on. Oh, it's jumped back. Let me come forward. I'm in the UK, married of 2 kids. The weather is a mixed bag of good and shite. That's the UK. Actually, you look at have the good. This time of year in the UK is total shite and slightly less shite, usually. Leon did die, so he got another. You need to watch videos, Leon the Lobster. I'm going to look that up. Keith. I will dig into that, I think. That sounds kind of entertaining. I mean, I'm not... After you've watched like the first quarter of an hour, I'm not sure where it can go from there. But unless he takes it out on adventures or something, if he heads off into the Lake District or something and takes his fucking lobster with him, I don't know. I'm not sure. After you've seen the first quarter of an hour, what else is there? I'll have to see. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a fair shake. Yeah, that's interesting though, isn't it? Okay, I'm about here, guys. Where are we? We're not too far off 2 hours, and I'm about to finish my first can. I didn't look up the. Do you pronounce it as POC radios or POC radios? Didn't look at. I'm behind with. I've got a few videos that I haven't caught up on yet. I'm behind with watching back. You know, I like to watch me. I do like... I have been called a narcissist. I do like to watch these TrampCast Hangouts and even normal TrampCasts. I like to watch them back. But I guess because I've been a little bit down, I'm a little bit behind with all this stuff. At the minute, I feel like I'm running out of YouTube to watch. I know that's ridiculous, and I know it's not true. But within the genres that I've been watching, these AI-generated sci-fi stories, and there's a few AI-generated revenge stories. I got caught up in some of that shit. And then there's a couple of political podcasts and things that I watch. I feel like I've seen everything. It's not offering me anything new. I mean, it is, but those AI stories, they tend to take the same storyline and repackage it 5 different ways, just change the names of the characters or the situation, but the overall story is the same. I'll give you an example. The AI generated revenge stories, they all boil down to somebody gets sacked by a new boss takes over their department and says, you're dead wood, you're old school, you're gone, you're inefficient, we need new, synergistic, dynamic, blah, 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 blah. And they get rid of the guy or girl. And the storyline is invariably, the entire company is built upon work that these people did and they own the patent for it. And they've leased it, or licensed it is the better word. They've licensed it to the company while ever they're employed there. But then the new boss comes in, doesn't know his ass from his elbow, sacks them. The patent license is thereby revoked. And this company that was turning over £1 billion, dollars, euros, whatever, per year is suddenly worthless without access to the patented algorithm or whatever. And that's basically the story. Somehow these people have been employed for 25 years at a company, and instead of the company owning their work, they've patented it in their own name rather than their employers. Huh? Work for hire is owned by the company that paid you. But anyway, that's the storyline. And the same storyline is repackaged in 500 different ways. You hear the first 1 or 2 and it's like, oh, all right, yeah. It's ridiculous, but okay, yeah, it's watchable enough. And by the time you're seeing the same story repackaged for the 20th time, no, I feel like I'm running out of YouTube to watch. There's another one of these revenge stories. Military father, retired, disses his daughter all the time. Oh, you just clean ships, or oh, you just clean planes, or whatever. And then they're at some event, and a 5-star general turns around and salutes her or him because Medal of Honor winner. Everybody salutes you, and the father who's been dismissive of his daughter all along suddenly learns that you know, she's a fucking, I don't know, Navy SEAL with a Medal of Honor, kind of, and that's your story. The father gets embarrassed and whatever in front of everybody. Yeah, it's AI slop. I like some of them. I don't like others. But that's the kind of slop I've been watching. I don't like AI. I sooner prefer real life, says Sahara Moonshine. Who do you like to watch on YouTube? That was a previous question from Sahara Moonshine. Who do I like to watch on YouTube? Yeah, like is a difficult topic. So for example, in terms of politics, I will watch people from the left and I'll watch people from the right, so I get a balanced view, and then I'll make up my own mind about where I fall in that continuum. And on some issues I'm left, and on some issues I'm right, and some people will say that I'm fucking far right because that's how the world is nowadays. There's no such thing as a moderate right or whatever. Everything, as soon as you're not left, you're far right. So I like Professor Tim Wilson, who I would consider to be quite a lefty. Now I've called him that, kind of to his face, you know, in the comments, and he has vehemently rejected my categorization of him as being left. But he is. He just doesn't know it. At the same time, there's a guy that I would put slightly right of centre. The channel's called History Debunked. I knew his name until about 2 seconds ago when I was about to say it. Why do I not know his name now? I know his name. Why can I not recall his name? Anyway, History Debunked. Simon Wells, maybe? That doesn't sound right. Simon. Anyway, History Debunked. He's definitely called Simon. Now he, like I said, would probably be considered by most people to be right of centre, but not by much. But he gets called far right because as soon as you're not far left, you're far right. Anything to the right of Trotsky is far right. Who else? I watch The Quartering. Sometimes I don't know why. I love to watch Asmongold. There's another guy who gets called far right or right, and he's the most centrist person, the most balanced opinions on most topics. So I like Asmongold, I like Tectone. Both of those guys are taking a break at the minute. Asmongold's father died a couple of weeks back, so he's taking a break. What else do I like? Like I said, I kind of like the AI sci-fi slop, the AI sci-fi fiction stories. I've maybe just watched too much of them lately. In terms of science, Anton Petrov, Sabina Hossenfelder, a lass called Dr. Becky, astrophysicist. I like my astronomy. You are live. How long was I gone? Okay, let me just summarize. Anton Petrov, Sabina Hossenfelder, Dr. Becky for cosmology and astronomy and cosmology. Oh, it's just a dry tickly cough. It's not a cold. It's just, I just had that fly hit the back of my throat the other day. I haven't got a beer at the minute either, have I? Whoa! Hold on. Wait a minute now. I was about to wait another minute and a half to open it, so we're 2 hours in. Well, is that silly? We'll be 2 hours in when I open my second can of beer. Who else do I like to watch on YouTube? Well, there's lots. I watch a lot of prepper stuff. Preppers and survivalists and similar. There's a guy called Mike. No relation. Sorry, that's a silly joke. There's a guy called Mike, UK urban prepper. I watch quite a lot of his stuff. Corporal's Corner, US Marine Corps corporal, retired. From what I can gather, most of his survival kind of skills and training came after he left the military. This is a guy who had done his time and come out of the military, and then the Twin Towers happened and he signed back up and went out and did another couple of tours of duty. out in Afghanistan, etc. For some reason, here's a topic, folks. Let me just put that back down. For some reason, military guys on YouTube get a lot of flack from people claiming that they're Walter Mitty's, claiming that they're dreamers, that they're lying, that they weren't in the military. Another guy I watch online, Trevor Coult, C-O-U-L-T, British, Northern Irish actually, which is British. Oh, it's you. It's not, is it? It's it's United Kingdom-ish. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So it's not geographic British Isles anyway. But guy's got a fucking goddamn military cross. Yeah? One of the highest honours available to people in the military. Probably the last step before you get like a fucking VC. Victoria Cross. Probably the next one. I don't know for sure. I'm not fully clued up on it, but I think that the military cross is it's a fucking big deal. And this guy gets like people online telling him that he wasn't in the military and that it's, what do they call it? Stolen valor. It's pretty much an American term. But he's lying, he wasn't in the military. There's fucking pictures of him with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Fucking giving him his medal. If they can't get him on that, then they say he did a lot of work for charities for veterans. You get people keep alleging that he stole money. He collected money and didn't hand it over, didn't submit it to the charities. The police keep investigating him and every time there's the accusation, they investigate him again and again and again. He can account for every penny. There's just these sickos that just want to push the narrative that he's a liar, that he's a thief. And Corporal's Corner from the US Marine Corps, he gets the same shit. It's verifiable that he was in the Marine Corps. That he went back and did extra tours of duty after 9/11 happened. And yet you've got these nutters online calling him all the bastards under the sun. People are weird. So anyway, yeah, military guys, survivalists, preppers, electronics, Big Clive, bigclive.com, where dot is the word, D-O-T, it's all one word, bigclive.com, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I watch a lot of that, and Scruff Dog is an offshoot from that. Who else? What? There's lots. I did just pick the tablet up, didn't I, so that I could see who else and what else. There's a guy called Ben Miles. Just kind of sciencey, medicine-y stuff. Let me see. I go to YouTube. And I'll go into subscriptions. No, I'll go into recent videos to see. Okay, so there's Anton Petrov. Okay, Tousi TV, Tousi. This is an Iranian bloke who ended up fleeing Iran and coming to the UK, or I think his parents did. I'm not sure exactly on the timeline. Politics, that's politics. Oh, here's a whole category of things. What the Americans call auditors. People who walk around with a camera and wait for the police to come and be assholes. And the police do it so well and so often. Even though they know they're on camera, they can't help but overstep the mark and demand things they're not entitled to and start tasing people when they shouldn't. Or the overuse of force and stuff by some of these guys. Kicking in doors when they haven't got a warrant or a right to be there. So often, so many times. So auditors, they're what's called a First Amendment auditor. It's started to happen in Britain as well. I watch a few of these things because I seem to have developed an anti-police mentality. Now, if you've been here a while, you'll know that I'm not anti-police really. And indeed, I have saved the lives of multiple police officers through my own actions, stepping in where others would fear to tread. That would be a chapter in a book if I was doing my autobiography. Not just stepping in and saving police, but stepping in general, stepping up and stepping in. It's a running theme. Got me in trouble at times. Oh, another category that I watch online. Reaction channels. In particular, people who've moved from America to Britain or to other parts of Europe, the culture shock. And then people in America watching those videos and adding additional commentary around it. I didn't know that. Oh my God, is that real? Wow, do you do that? Wow, look at the shape of your plug. Oh my God, why do you have two separate taps in the sink in the bathroom? All of these things. Yeah, I watch a lot of those. Law tube as it's called. Lawyers, whether in Britain or in America or Canada. I watch lawyers discussing the law. I guess it's an offshoot of the police videos and what have you. So yeah, I got there's a big old collection of cookery, lots and lots of cookery videos, because I used to make cookery videos myself once upon a time. Maybe I will do again one day. Most of my meals, though, even when I am cooking, are quite standard. And once you've shown them once, you know, how many spaghetti bolognese videos can you do? Or pasta bolognese if it's not spaghetti. Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I hope that didn't show on camera. There was some sputum. Right, 8 minutes past 2, and I'm opening. Not 8 minutes past 2. 2 hours and 8 minutes, and I'm opening my my second can of beer. Cheers, folks. If you haven't done already, you might like to consider hitting the like button and helping a guy out. I believe if we get to 20 thumbs up, that's one of the tiers, that's one of the levels where more alerts go out or more people get told about the broadcast, about the live stream. There are various thresholds at which extra activity happen. 20 is one, I think 50 is the next, and then I think 100. This is all, I'm not going to say apocryphal, but this is all rumor. I don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure how the algorithm works, but this is what has been postulated by other people. So who am I to argue? One more would be helpful if you're out there, folks. If one of you could just hit the button. I'm seeing 19 thumbs up. So one more might make the difference. Cheers to you guys that did just hit the button though. Thank you. Much appreciated. Did I prattle on enough with that story about who do you like to watch online? Sahara Moonshine. I like hard talking factual documentaries about life as it is today. Hold on. It's jumped. Here we go. About life as it is today. I hate politics and religion. It causes so much provocation. It does, but politics controls your life. How much tax will there be on beer and wines and spirits? How much will VAT be on everything? What about income tax on everything you earn? What about inheritance tax when you're trying to leave your money to your children? Or if you've got a granddad or a dad, you know, a parent or a grandparent who dies, how much are you going to lose from the inheritance? How dare the government stick their hand in your pocket so often and take so much? That's on politics. The original meaning of the word politics was how to run a city. It's based on the word polis, which means city. Like metropolis, which means mother city, parent city. Literally mother city. When the people from one city go off, travel, and set up another city, and maintain contact with their homeland, metropolis. I really enjoy music, it relaxes me. I enjoy music, but I don't use YouTube for music. I tend to download stuff that I like and have it stored on the phone. Then I can listen to it millions of times without... I hate streaming. Now, I'm streaming now myself, and you're watching my stream. So it seems a little bit perverse, I guess, to say I hate streaming. What I mean is, let's say I was watching an hour-and-a-half documentary or a film, and I'm streaming it. So basically, streaming is downloading and throwing away. Let's say I fall asleep halfway through and my phone carries on downloading it and then throws it away. And I wake up and I think, oh, I'll watch the second half of that. I got to download the fucker again. The second half at least. If I decide I want to watch the same film again tomorrow to make sure that I haven't missed any, or just to solidify it in my memory, I have to download it again. If I want to watch it in 3 months' time, I have to download it again. And my phone throws it away immediately I finish. That's bullshit. I hate that. That's waste. I will download it and save it, and then I can watch as many fucking times as I like, whenever I like, without downloading it multiple times. Saves data. My personal preference. Music, I'm not bothered about like music videos generally. Although another category of video I do watch is people analysing music. There's a guy called Wings of Pegasus. He tells whether people are using auto-tune or not. And there's a lady called the Charismatic Voice, who, she's an opera singer herself, but she's also a vocal coach and vocal analyst. And you can watch her reaction to a song and see what you can really, you're watching her enjoyment of the song, but she will commentate on how they're using their vocal chords and whether they're doing it whether they're breathing down here or whether they're doing it up here and all these things. And I've been introduced to some fantastic music that way. So, oh, can I remember the name of the band? Somebody did a cover of Simon and Garfunkel's, wasn't Windmills of the Mind, or was it? Oh, it wasn't. This heavy metal or heavy rock singer, Jewish bloke by all accounts, it was like a choir boy's not the right term because Jewish. It wasn't The Darkness, was it? It had a D in the name of the band that he's from. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Anyway, I've been introduced to some fantastic stuff by them. Just Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel turned around and he basically said, it's their song now. He was so impressed by their version of it that he turned around and he said, it's your song, not mine. That's something. And the charismatic voice was pretty much reduced to tears listening to it. It's such a different take on the song, and I'm annoyed I can't remember which song. It wasn't Windmills of the Mind. Sound of Silence. This is the sound of silence. People have said the Simon and Garfunkel song was like a warning about things to come. But these guys did the cover, and it's like a... Fuck, you fucked up. It's like a modern... It's like an update of the same story. They were warning about when things are divisive and what can go wrong. And these guys, their version is much more... you know... but it's all based on this guy's voice. And for a rock singer to sing like he sang, you wouldn't have believed it possible. And yeah. But Paul Simon, the guy who wrote the fucking song, says it's not my song anymore. Your version's better. That's something. So I guess I do some music online, but it's analysis of the music rather than just listening to pop videos. What music do you like? Oh, there's a question. I have very eclectic tastes. Everything from opera. I know. I don't know anything about opera, but I like certain the Wagner, what do you call it, the ring cycle, the Götterdämmerung or whatever the fucking, all of that. Those I think it's in 4 parts. Is it 4 parts really? But the version I've got is split into 6 separate videos, but I think 2 of the performances have been split. So, see, opera, here's the thing, guys. Opera was like the first sci-fi. 1600, opera kind of started. One of the major movers behind the scenes was the father of some bloke called Galileo. And when they did, it kind of started as, well, it developed over time. It started as singing, became a little bit more theatrical, and then the costumes and everything came in, and it kind of developed over time. But starting somewhere around 1600, and Galileo's father was a major mover and shaker within the behind the scenes in the funding of one of the first opera houses. But the way they could tell the story, the way stories about giants and gods at times, whatever different stories you had going on, but the way that they could do the scenery and things, it was all developing at that time with the different pulleys and things and lifting and the scenery and everything. It's literally like sci-fi to watch some of the early stuff. And to the people that were there at the time, must have appeared amazing. So yeah, opera. And Barnsley Working class lad from Barnsley. Now, I don't know a lot about opera. I can't start naming fucking arias and fucking, whatever. I couldn't even tell you what half of these words mean. But I can listen to shit and know that I like it. But 1950s rock and roll, 50s and 60s rock and roll, the early pop music stuff. Beatles, Rolling Stones, Monkeys. Hey, hey, with the Monkeys. I could go on listing all sorts of different kind of genres and subgenres. I like a lot. 80s music. I mean, I love 80s pop. A lot of it's like, what do they call it, like bubblegum pop. A lot of it's like throwaway rubbish. Early Kylie Minogue. I like it. I like Kylie. But the early stuff was, the Stock Aitken Waterman stuff was... But then later on, when she got her own voice and her own way forward, at Rick Astley, Stock Aitken and Waterman's T-Boy, back in the day. Great singer. Madge, Madonna, early Madonna, I liked. I don't know when I stopped liking it. Every now and again she'll do something that I like again, but it's fewer and further between now. I think we're up to like once every 20 years now, aren't we? She's still running around in basques and stockings and suspenders and things now that she must be nearly 70. Yeah? She got to be at least 10 years older than me, hasn't she? And what am I? 56, 57? 57 in a month or two. So that'll make her 67, 7. Yeah, she's got to be bordering on 70. Let me have a look. But yeah, I did like a lot of Madonna in the 80s and into the early 90s. How old is Madge? Well, I'll type Madonna rather than 67 years old. So she's only 10 years older than me. That's a slight surprise. But 67, what was that? Something just popped up. Oh, charge your phone. Hold on. Hold on, wait a minute now. Where are we? There. I got you. It didn't blink. Okay, what else? I could keep listing all sorts of music that I like. I loved Elvis. Roy Orbison. Gentleman Jim Reeves, the wife beater. You got to separate the artist's works from the artist. More modern, what do I like? Early Beyonce, maybe? I don't even know that I could name any modern stuff. I haven't really listened to chart music in forever, and a lot of it I find overly vulgar. See, you've been here a while, you know that I swear like a fucking trooper. But being in a shopping centre listening to people sing about a wet-assed pussy. It's funny, in Spain you can walk into a shopping centre, one of these commercial, what do they call them, commercial centre. Basically a bunch of shops in a little arcade. And you can hear people, fuck this, fuck that, fuck the other. And that's being played on the radio over here. I think because they don't get the words, they don't always know what they're playing. So you're walking along, you're in a place that's like full of kids in some shopping centre, and F this, F that, F the other. And you're like, should you really be playing that? I guess you can expect that most kids don't know swear words in a foreign language, but still, a lot of the modern the rapper stuff, it's not for me. It's not for me. Oh, it's jumped on me again. I was just reading. Hold on. Half of these nasty keyboard warriors have been released from Broadmoor Mental Hospital. Could well be. I can't negate that hypothesis. I can't reject that hypothesis. Auditors have no legal qualifications on YouTube. I hate these people. They're immature, annoying, arrogant. Some. But I would point you in the direction of, say, Lackluster, and Long Island Audit. Sean Paul Reyes is the GOAT. He's the greatest. You say they've got no legal qualifications, and they're not. They're members of the public who walk around with a camera, and I mean, some of them will literally bait the police, but those are not the ones that I watch. I don't like to see that. There's a guy called Marty Barraclough or something like that in the UK. Don't like him. He's too sweary and too aggressive and too in your face. But if you watch Long Island Audit, he goes out, always remains calm, very respectful, and the cops just start quoting non-laws and giving orders and demanding ID when they've got no right to have ID. And he just shows them up for what they are. So yeah, they're a mixed bag. Gary with 2 R's says, good evening from Malmeria. Just hit the button. Okay, mate, cheers. Karen's just let the dogs out. It feels chilly. Just check the temperature. It's 23 degrees. Yeah, likewise. I've just put my long sleeve t-shirt on because I'm feeling cold. If I was in England and it was 23 degrees, even in the middle of the day, that would be fucking t-shirt and shorts, and a dip in the sea, probably. But here, 23 degrees feels cold because you're spending your days in 40 degrees. In some, if you're out in the sun, it might be 30 or 32 in the shade. But the moment you go out in the sun, you can add another 10 degrees. It was indeed Disturbed, Sahara Moonshine, yeah. The remake of Simon and Garfunkel, Sound of Silence. I knew it had D's, and I knew it wasn't the one that I was about to say it was. I knew that Darkness was that British guy. They were British, weren't they? With that guy, I can't remember his name. In the tight lycra. Yeah, no, I knew it wasn't him, so I didn't say Disturbed. I knew it had a D. Yeah, that cover of Sound of Silence by Disturbed is absolutely phenomenal. Almost brings a tear to your eye. 67 said Karen. That was Madge's age. Yeah, Madonna. Yeah. Oh, Karen's run out of charge. She'll catch us later. Okay. Justin Hawkins. Yeah. That was him. In the white lycra with a couple of black stripes running around it somehow. Lorraine off TV was gushing over him one time for no real reason. Yeah. I remember it well. We're coming up on 2.5 hours, folks. How did we get there already? 2.5 hours. Cheers. According to my counter, we're still waiting on that one extra thumbs up to hit 20. Which is where YouTube may or may not send out extra alerts to people. So if you are thinking about it, folks, maybe. I don't want to go on too much about that shit. You can't predict the algorithm too much. Okay. Yeah, Karen was saying it feels chilly at 23 degrees, and I'm getting a little bit that way myself. Karen was back in the UK, a week ago? A little bit more, maybe. Can't remember exactly. Time, the days all merge. But Karen's really been struggling with the temperature back in the UK. Yeah. That's... Once you've acclimatized to Spain, to Spanish temperatures, if you've been here a while, or a lot, going back to the UK, you really feel it. Now, if you're out here for 5 days or 7 days, you're going to feel cool when you get home, but only for a few days. But if you've been here for months or as many days out of the year as Karen has, she can't acclimatize to the UK. It just doesn't work for her. She's just, even on the warm days, she's still cold. All summer she was cold. Let me scroll forward. Do you like blues and jazz? Oh, blues is a difficult one. I don't know where the lines are between some of these genres. Blues and jazz kind of became rock and roll in a way, or at least fed heavily into it. But then so did country. Country and western. I know, isn't that a little bit? My mum loved, like, Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton, Tammy Wynette. Who's the other one? Loretta. I'm gonna say Loretta Lynn, maybe. But also, who did the Gunfighter ballads? Hold on. Pinky Purpley cover. He's the guy that sang on Play Misty for Me. Oh, the Gunfighter ballads, come on. Big Iron on His Hip. El Paso. Loads of other songs that aren't coming to mind because my mind does not work anymore, folks. The connection's never there. Gunfighter ballads, what's he called? I got his entire discography on the phone, but I can't go to it because it would end the stream. Let's have a look. Gunfighter ballads. Wasn't there old Strawberry Roan or old Gunfighter Marty Robbins? There you go. Gunfighter ballads and trail songs. Marty Robbins. What a fantastic voice Marty Robbins had. I apologise to Mr. Robbins, who is dead now, I believe, but I apologise to him for not being able to recall his name in a quick enough manner. Oh, I don't know Alan Jackson. Marty Robbins was where I was going with the Gunfighter ballads and stuff. Fantastic voice, really is. Then I liked God, Gene Pitney. I like Gene Pitney as well. 24 Hours from Tulsa. And loads of others again. I won't be able to remember the names of them. Maria Elena. Which was, hold on, Maria Elena. Buddy Holly's wife, I think. Also, O'Donnell. Richie Valens. Hold on, two names close together. There are singers with both of those names. You got the La Bamba guy. La Bamba. I think is that Richie Valens? And then there was a bloke sang a song called Tell Laura I Love Her. And he's the other name. So one's one name, one's the other. Ricky Valens and Richie Valens. And he lived in Torrevieja. He died a couple of years ago. The guy who sang Tell Laura I Love Her. All these songs from my childhood. Do you like Willie Nelson? I do. I couldn't name, if you asked me to name a song, I couldn't. But I've heard him sing with other people. Like, what's he called? The guy out of Convoy, the movie. Chris Christopherson. Chris Christopherson? Yeah. He's a singer as well, isn't he? I've heard him and Willie Nelson sing together. I don't know that I could name a Willie Nelson song. I would recognise his voice when I heard him sing. It's maybe not my favourite singer. But yeah, country and western and all of that. What was he called? The Man in Black. Folsom Prison and all that. Cash, Johnny Cash. I like almost everything he did. But you've got that whole country into rock and roll crossover at that time. Sun Records, wasn't it? I think signed Elvis, Roy Orbison, I think, and Johnny Cash, all roughly the same time. I think that's right. Sun Records. Yeah, that whole crossover country into rock and roll. So my tastes are very eclectic. Like most things in my life, broad but shallow. I couldn't sit here and name albums and name loads of songs, but I know what I like. Yeah, I'd say that was a fair summary of me. Education-wise as well, broad, know about lots of different fields, lots of different topics, but shallow. I don't go deep in most areas. Probably been a big problem in my life overall. I could have probably achieved much more in life if I'd specialised and dug into specific areas. But you can only do what you can do. Keith Richards did a duet with Willie Nelson called I Got the Silver. Okay. See, when I read this back tomorrow, I'll make a list of these comments, things that I did know or didn't know, and I say when I watch it tomorrow, if because I am way behind. I'm probably 6 or 7 episodes behind with my watching back of these things. And I do like to make notes and then go off and follow up on stuff. I guess the last couple of months, Is it a couple of months? How far behind am I with proper TrampCast? I think we're at the 2-month stage. Oh, Nina Simone, yeah. And Jackie Wilson, Reek Petite and all that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Bing Crosby. I like Bing. In fact, it's not Christmas until I hear Bing singing at White Christmas. It's just not Christmas until Bing says so. Doesn't matter how many times I hear Noddy Holder and Slade or Wizard or any of the others. It's not Christmas until I've heard Bing Crosby and watched Die Hard. Despite what Bruce Willis says. It's a Christmas film. Shut up, Bruce. Chestnuts roasting on open fire and all that. Chris Stapleton. Name not recognized. Name not recognized. Don't know, mate. Don't know. What about the other people out there? We got lurkers. We got people who are just hovering in the background. Come and say hello. Even if it's your first time here, even if you just popped in because it says, come and talk to a tramp. I am that guy. I am that tramp. I am that homeless man sat in a field. Right now, the time is 1:45 in the morning here in Spain. 1:45. And I'm in a field. And somebody's got some music over there. And it might be Eminem. Oh, it's shut up now, so I can't tell. The vocals have gone, so I'm not sure. Okay, folks. I'm still waiting on number 20 on the thumbs up. We're not getting there. We got any other topics? He sang Tennessee Whiskey. Don't know that one. Do I know Tennessee Whiskey? I don't think so. A guy I watch online called Cecil. He keeps playing a song called Piss Up a Rope. Which is quite amusing. I don't know. Piss up a rope. Yeah, I don't know, folks. Anybody, let's have some new topics maybe. Music's good. It's not my specialist subject. Maths and science. Hold on. I have got a few stored topics from recent science discoveries. Let's have a quick look. I'll do a couple. I won't go off too in depth on them. But let's bring that up. Not TrampCasts. Let's go back and go notes. Notes for TrampCast Hangouts. I covered a couple of these the other day. What did I do? I covered the biodegradable film made from red onion skin that will protect solar panels in future. I covered that one. Here's one. A new internet technology. After 40 years of using the same fibre optic cables, scientists have just found a way of making them faster. So instead of fibre optic cables being a solid glass fibre, they're going to make them into a tube from now on. Light moves faster through air than it does through glass. So inside a fibre optic tube, Obviously, at the minute, the light pushes through the glass and it kind of zigzags a little bit. It catches the outer edge and kind of refracts, I think it is, back in and zigzags along the wire, but it's moving through glass all the time. And the speed of light through glass is a lot slower than the speed of light through air. You can't make them a vacuum, but through air it would be a lot faster. And that's what they're going to do. It'll still do, to some extent, it'll still hit the edges and bounce back in, but it's going to spend most of its time moving through the hollow tube, and the internet will just get faster. And I think it gives a guide. I think it gives an indication of how much faster. Does it? Okay, get this. Okay, the result: light travels 45% faster, and cables can handle 1,000 times more power. That's going to be a major fucking upgrade. That's going to be a major... The lag, when you ping a server and you're waiting for it to come back, the signal to come back, gaming in particular would take advantage of this. But some video conferencing and things like that will be noticeably faster. Yeah, I think that's a thing. There's a nuclear one there, but I'll did I cover regrowing tooth enamel at some point in the past? Researchers at King's College London have developed a way to regrow tooth enamel using keratin found in sheep wool. And the stuff that it makes like a framework and attracts the chemicals to make enamel, and it basically grows back stronger than actual real life tooth enamel. So yeah, that's going to be a biggie. I'm waiting for them to be able to regrow a whole set of teeth because I haven't got any. I'm waiting for some kind of stem cell injection, and maybe I spend a couple of years teething and like a baby, but I get a whole new set of teeth. I'm waiting for that. That's the one that I'm after. Yeah, I think that's all we're going to cover for now. Oh, did we do repairing spinal cords? That's going to be a biggie. If we ever crack that properly. Currently in rats, sorry, not mice, in rats they can do it. They can repair a spinal cord injury. What would Christopher Reeves have given for that? Don't know, folks. A lot of these things seem to be getting there. We seem to be making those improvements. We seem to be getting there. I'd like to think that within 10 years we could solve the whole paralysis thing. Regrowing spinal cord. Now, when you cut the spinal cord, one of the major problems is scar tissue. Both sides of the cut quickly develop a scar tissue that means even if you could join them together, it won't work. But you could imagine an operation where you go in and you cut off the ends and put a chemical in and a that creates like a framework and that stimulates growth and that suppresses that scar tissue on the ends of the nerve fibers. I can imagine that. Now, if you're paralyzed and a surgeon goes in and cuts the ends off of the two halves of the spinal cord, would that be painful? Maybe. But it might be worth it if you can take the scar tissued ends off, such that you get a proper joint, a proper connection. Take the ends off, put the framework in place, and and pepper it with the right chemicals, suppress new scar tissue, and encourage growth of new spinal cord. We're doing it in rats. How long before we can do it with peoples? Don't know. Now, we're not an exact match, a rodent isn't an exact match for a human, but apparently we're very close. I mean, we once upon a time, we were rodents. People don't like to hear this. Once upon a time, we were mushrooms. I know. Life, the tree of life, folks. We were mushrooms. At the time the dinosaurs were killed, we were rodents, or tiny little mammals anyway. Modern humans, you can argue on the timeline, 200,000 years, 2 million years. There's a lot of argument about drawing that line. But rats and us aren't that far apart. Entertaining thought, I feel. A lot of people don't like that thought. But, a billion years before that, you were a fucking mushroom, so shut up. This is true. Or at least it was when I last looked. I know some things I've said recently turned out that I've hopped universes, and things that I said that used to be true aren't anymore. But this one's true. We were mushrooms. Shall I check with AI? Let me type that in. I want to check that Rob Ryan's not going to come after me tomorrow and tell me how wrong I am. Humans descended from, do I say mushrooms or do I say fungus? I'm going to say mushroom. Question mark. Let's see what the AI makes of that. Here we go. Okay, you see, I knew it would. Okay. Humans are not descended from mushrooms, but humans and mushrooms share a common ancestor, making fungi more closely related to animals, including humans, than to plants. We're descended from fungi, not mushrooms technically. But there you go. A lot like we're not descended from monkeys, but we share a common ancestor with monkeys. Well, with all the primates, apes, monkeys, whatever. Here we go, hold on. The idea that psychedelic mushrooms directly caused human evolution is known as the stoned ape theory. There you go. Almost right. not quite on the technical specifics. We're not descended from mushrooms. But close. We branched off and we became that way, and mushrooms went that way. Now you know. Sahara Moonshine is off. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do, folks. We're coming up on 3 hours. I might bin it off at about that point. Another 4.5 minutes, maybe. Unless we get a sudden influx of people, or people come in and join the conversation. If you're lurking, come and say hello. Maybe. Just as I say goodbye, we'll probably get Jack Attack coming on in here and introducing himself. And then I have to watch it back the next day just to see what he says right at the end. I did miss Big Clive. Well, no, I watched the first half of Big Clive yesterday, but I missed the second half of Big Clive, and I missed Scruff Dog. So I didn't get to say hello to these guys. Okay, folks. Coming to the end of can number 2. Where are we? 3.5 minutes to go. I don't know what to say. What am I going to say, folks? How do we wrap this up? We will finish in the tradition of the channel at the end with from Tina and from me. But I don't know what else to say in the meantime. Is it coming up on 1 o'clock? It is. It is 12:59 right now. But I must have been 2 or 3 minutes late getting started. I don't think I was 3 minutes late. But we have had the odd interruption where it says I wasn't online. So I guess we'll see. Thumbs up, folks. I'm still waiting to try and hit 20. Not that it matters now. It doesn't matter if they send out more alerts telling people that we're online if we're finishing. If we get a sudden influx, we could always carry on if anybody wants me to carry on. I would need some input from the observers, or I would need some questions, some topics to talk about. I am deliberately staying away from politics tonight because Friday I went off on one. And I know how divisive politics can be. Some people disagree with my take on things, and that's okay. I can still be friends with you. If you can still be friends with me, if we can just agree to disagree, that's okay. That's allowed. That's what grown-ups do, or used to. Nowadays, it seems that if someone disagrees with you, they're just never going to talk to you again. What can you do? Anybody? Come on, somebody say hello. Somebody new. I'm going to click top chat and then live chat. You do want to be on live chat, folks. The default of top chat filters out a significant proportion of messages. So you want to be on how do they word it? Live chat. All messages are visible. That's how they label it on mobile. They may label it entirely differently on PC. Don't know. We are 1 minute away. Okay, folks. Well, I think we're done. When are we next going to do a thing? This next week, I do want to catch up on a couple of TrampCast proper. I got to get my arse in gear on that and overcome whatever this blockage is that I've got. Got to get on with that. But for now, folks, let me just unplug this. For now, from my girl, there she is. I think she's asleep. There she is. From Tina. Oh, I didn't mean to wake you up, babe. Although I'm going to have to take you for walkies soon, yeah? From Tina. And from me, Delta Mike, out. Later.